The Christmas Truce of 1914. During the first Christmas of World War I, a series of widespread, unofficial ceasefires occurred along the Western Front. German and British soldiers emerged from their trenches, exchanging seasonal greetings and songs. In some areas, men from both sides ventured into no man's land to mingle, exchange food and souvenirs, and even play football. This remarkable event demonstrated the shared humanity of the opposing forces, but it was never repeated on the same scale in subsequent years of the war. Military authorities discouraged such fraternization, viewing it as a threat to troop morale and combat readiness. The Christmas truce remains a poignant symbol of peace and goodwill amidst the horrors of war. The introduction of chemical warfare. World War I saw the first large-scale use of chemical weapons in modern warfare. The Germans first employed chlorine gas at the Second Battle of Ypres in 1915, causing panic and confusion among Allied troops. This marked the beginning of a chemical arms race, with both sides developing and using various toxic agents such as phosgene and mustard gas. The effects of these weapons were horrific, causing severe burns, blindness, and agonizing deaths. By the war's end, an estimated 1.3 million casualties were attributed to chemical weapons, including 90,000 fatalities. The use of chemical warfare in World War I led to the Geneva Protocol of 1925, which prohibited the use of chemical and biological weapons in international armed conflicts. The role of animals in the war. Animals played a crucial role in World War I, with millions of creatures serving alongside human soldiers. Horses and mules were essential for cavalry charges, pulling artillery, and transporting supplies. Dogs were used as messengers, sentries, and to locate wounded soldiers. Pigeons carried vital messages across enemy lines, with one famous pigeon, Cher Ami, saving the lives of 194 American soldiers by delivering a message despite being severely wounded. Even slugs and glowworms were utilized, with slugs kept in boxes to detect poison gas, and glowworms providing light for soldiers to read maps in the trenches. It's estimated that around 8 million horses died during the war, highlighting the often overlooked animal sacrifice in this global conflict. The Zimmermann Telegram. In 1917, British intelligence intercepted and decrypted a telegram from German Foreign Minister Arthur Zimmermann to the German ambassador in Mexico. The telegram proposed a military alliance between Germany and Mexico if the United States entered the war against Germany. In return for Mexico's support, Germany promised to help Mexico reclaim territories lost to the United States in the Mexican-American War. The revelation of this telegram outraged American public opinion and was a significant factor in the US decision to enter the war on the Allied side. This incident demonstrates the crucial role of intelligence and diplomacy in shaping the course of the war and global alliances. The Spanish flu pandemic. The final months of World War I coincided with the outbreak of one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, the Spanish flu. Despite its name, the virus didn't originate in Spain. The country's neutral status in the war allowed for more open reporting about the illness. The cramped and unsanitary conditions of warfare, along with the global movement of troops, contributed significantly to the rapid spread of the virus. It's estimated that the Spanish flu infected 500 million people worldwide and killed between 50 and 100 million, far exceeding the death toll of the war itself. The pandemic had a profound impact on the war's final stages and the immediate post-war period, influencing peace negotiations and recovery efforts. 3. The birth of plastic surgery. World War I led to significant advancements in medical treatments, particularly in the field of plastic surgery. The nature of trench warfare resulted in a high number of facial and head injuries from shrapnel and bullets. In response, doctors like Harold Gillies pioneered new techniques in facial reconstruction. Gillies established the first hospital dedicated to facial repairs at Sidcup in England, treating over 11,000 patients. His work laid the foundation for modern plastic surgery, developing techniques such as the tubed pedicle flap. These advancements not only helped soldiers regain function and appearance, but also paved the way for future developments in reconstructive and cosmetic surgery. The Battle of Verdun. The Battle of Verdun, fought between German and French forces in 1916, was one of the longest and most devastating engagements of World War I. Lasting 303 days, it resulted in an estimated 700,000 casualties, dead, wounded, or missing. The battle became a symbol of French resistance and determination, with the rallying cry, "They shall not pass, ils ne passeront pas." The intensity of the fighting was such that the landscape was permanently altered, with 9 villages completely destroyed and never rebuilt. Today, the battlefield is a somber reminder of the war's brutality, with unexploded ordnance still being discovered more than a century later. The Lost Generation. World War I had a profound impact on the arts and literature, giving rise to the concept of the lost generation. This term, coined by Gertrude Stein and popularized by Ernest Hemingway, referred to the generation that came of age during the war. Many young artists and writers, disillusioned by the war's brutality and the perceived failures of traditional values, produced works that reflected their sense of disorientation and loss. Authors like Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and T.S. Eliot created influential works that captured the post-war mood of disillusionment and aimlessness. This cultural shift had lasting effects on literature, art, and societal attitudes throughout the 20th century. The role of women. World War I marked a significant shift in women's roles in many countries. With millions of men away at war, women took on jobs previously considered male only, working in factories, farms, and various civil service positions. In Britain, women's participation in the workforce increased from 23.6% in 1914 to 37.7% by 1918. This change in the social dynamic contributed to the advancement of women's rights, with countries like the United States, Britain, and Germany granting women the right to vote soon after the war. The war thus played a crucial role in accelerating the women's suffrage movement and challenging traditional gender roles. The Schlieffen Plan. The Schlieffen Plan, developed by German Field Marshal Alfred von Schlieffen, was a strategic plan for a two-front war against France and Russia. The plan called for a rapid, massive attack on France through neutral Belgium, while holding off Russia in the east. However, the plan's execution in 1914 failed to achieve its objectives. The violation of Belgian neutrality brought Britain into the war, and the German advance was ultimately halted at the First Battle of the Marne. The failure of the Schlieffen Plan led to the prolonged trench warfare that characterized much of World War I on the Western Front. This strategic miscalculation highlights the unpredictability of war plans and the cascading effects of initial decisions in a global conflict.